it started in 2008, but how it started is one night there was a group of us that used to all street race, and if you look at the very first group of people that were in the first COTS, you'll know who exactly they are. And those guys, so a lot of us were out street racing and we kept getting run out by the cops. We went to the Indiana Road, got run out. We went down, we went up to the north side, got run out. Everywhere we went, we couldn't get a race off. So finally, you know, we were all by a guy by the name of Mario. We were by his shop. We got tired of running. We all wanted a race. So there's Ruthless Racing in Figgy, and they said, hey man, how about this? Let's see who's the baddest. We all were talking shit. We were having a good time, and we're all going to put in $500. We all decided. Everybody gave me their money, which then became lock-in, and then they told me to find a place to race. So I started looking at airports. Never thought about the racetrack at all. We couldn't get an airport to commit with what we wanted to do. Then I approached US 41. A guy there at the time was Denny, and told him what I wanted to do, and he thought I was absolutely crazy. So after I convinced him, hey, just rent me the track, you don't have to do any surface. I wanted to simulate the street. At that point, I paid him for the track. We set a date, and we got everybody together. We had 13 cars at the very first COTS. So that's how it started, running from the cops, a bunch of guys that didn't like each other, and we wanted to prove who was the baddest. And then there were some other people that came in that were street racers that were street racing with us back in the day. People like, you know, there's a gentleman by the name of Clifton, comes from Texas, friends with Boosted GT. We met them guys street racing in St. Louis. So all those guys came in, and as you know, Boosted GT was crowned first king. He beat Boost 12. Boost 12 hurt his motor. Chris ran away with it. He won the very first one. So. Okay, so we're underground racing, right? So we were doing stuff on the street. So back in the day, you didn't want a lot of people there. It's different. You didn't have social media. You didn't have these things. So we didn't want anybody to know. We wanted to go race, see who the baddest was. We'd bet a lot of money, and I brought that concept to the track. I didn't want it open to spectators. So all I allowed was the car, and the driver, and his crew members, which I limited to 5 per crew for the very first one. So. No spectators. You just had the people that were helping with the event, in the event, or the crew. And the first one went off, the very first pair of cars went down and crashed. So it was Mighty Mouse and Oz. And they went down, and it was the scariest, craziest thing. First 2 cars leave, go down, bam, smash. Mighty Mouse runs right into Oz. It's unbelievably crazy. We're freaking out, running down the track. Oh my God. So here we are. We're down 2 cars. Going into the second race, everybody runs back to their cars, turn all the boost settings down, changing pills, disconnecting systems. It was unbelievable. So we kept it, and then at that point, everybody wanted to see what everybody was talking about, and nobody could get in. We had people in the trees, coming in the cornfield, people paying $500 to be on a crew so they could see. So they were essentially paying the guy's entry to the race to be on his crew, and then that's how. And then it just got overwhelming with how many people were, you know, just hounding, just trying to, you know, wanting it to be open. So I said, man, there's all these people that want to see what all these badass, you know, street guys are doing. So let's try it. And I tried it in the spring of 2010, and it was different, and it was a big hit. If it wasn't a big hit, it was easy for us to go back to no spectators. But as you know, there's a triangle in racing. You have to have the facility. The facility has to have the racers, and everybody needs the fans. So it's a triangle, and if you don't have all 3 of them, you know, that's what needs to be there. And a track owner and a promoter, and everybody makes that happen. So there's really 5 keys to a successful event. And then there were so many people that showed up, and we sold out of everything, and people just couldn't get enough of it. I mean, our first shirts were. There's only a few out there, and they're crazy, not even good looking, you know, and everybody wants those. So we're like, okay, well, we got to do this. We're able to start bumping up the pots. We're starting to do some different things, and now the money started going up, and we started drawing in more people, more cars. And I want to say at that time, we only had the one. Then we went to the junior group so that we started to evolve because we needed more cars, because your senior group started getting really fast. So then there was a group that really wasn't part of that, and then that's that's where we started to expand. Yeah, there was only one group. If you ran KOTS, you ran it on a 28 10.5 non-W, and it was a stock style front and rear suspension, and that was the rules. And it was no prep. You used to be able to do your burnout, you know, to that point, and then that became pretty crazy because everybody would try to nudge past it. And it used to be an arm drop, or flashlight race, I'm sorry, it was flashlight. And we never used the timing system. So yeah, that was the group, only one group, and then it went from there. Then we incorporated junior cars, and we incorporated a bike group, which was the senior bikes. Oh man, I hate this question because there's many of them. One that pops out to me that gives me goosebumps is thinking about a bike racer by the name of Hobo Bob. And he went through a battle. He passed on, but before he passed on, he won KOTS. It was one of his goals. And he used to come, and he's a guy, he was helping everybody. It didn't matter what kind of bike you're on. He was this guy that was like this awesome person in the bike world, and he would just, help everybody out. That memory, standing there on the starting line and just telling them congratulations and giving them the money and the award, and I was super proud. It was like a moment that I will remember forever. And then for him to come back after that, when he was sick, to stand there and we would do things to help his family and him, and it was just, they're awesome people. That comes to my mind. There's a ton of stories. I have a ton of things, but that's something that was kind of moving. It made me rethink some things in life. Yeah. So to sum it up, I was forced with a decision in my life. It was my family or KOTS race. And looking back at it now, it was super easy anybody sitting back can say yes, family, of course, right? You're always going to say that. When it's in front of you and you have to make a decision that affects many people, it's like blurred and it's hard to do. So looking back, it should have never been that hard for me not to choose. Even though I made the right choice, I had to choose my family, my daughter, my livelihood, my job, everything. It was we had somebody that was in a head-on collision that week and died. I mean, there was a lot of things that happened, and so I chose my family, which was the right decision. And I had to cancel because we didn't have all the pieces to the puzzle with me not there. Not that it's just because I'm not there, but there were some people that already had family engagements to do, key players that couldn't get there, and I just didn't feel that I could put it all on them, and if it failed, I was responsible for it. And me not being there, and then my head wouldn't be in the game or at work, and there was just a lot of things. So my decision was to choose my family first, and make things right there, put racing on the back burner for a hot minute. It could have been on the back burner forever, but I decided to cancel that race and move on. Well, there was two responses. There was the people that know me, respect me, that said, "Hey man, that stinks, but guess what? We understand." Then there was other people that I'll call the haters, that they didn't think it was right, and I owe them something, and all this different things. I've heard many things. So you were either with me or you were against me, and that was the response. The people that were with me and understood it, they understand life. The other people, if racing is their life, I get it. But a lot of those people, their priorities ain't even right. So, well, the support has been crazy. Normally our Fridays are really slow, but we noticed there was a lot more people wanting to come to the booth to talk, and I've noticed this year, not just buying merchandise, but they've been here asking questions and very supportive and wanting to know how I'm doing, how my team's doing, how my family's doing, how KOTS is doing, how it from last night till today changed my outlook on a few things in that short a time, because I didn't understand and know how much people wanted it. They embrace it more than I actually even thought. So it's kind of moving, makes me want to do a little bit more. I didn't even know if I was going to do an event. I felt I owed it to some people to do it, and now I feel absolutely great that I made the right decision. So this is exciting for me. So right now, KOTS is going home to US 41 September 21st, 2019. That deal is inked and done. We'll be there. The feedback that I got from this show this weekend about it has been unbelievable. So many people want it, so many people are happy about it, and I'm actually excited about it. That's where we started, and it's like a full circle. And here we go back home. So we go back, and if it ends up like the buzz and everything that's going on around here, then we're gonna have another one. And we're gonna continue to have KOTS. The team that is assembled is phenomenal. So I'm excited, the fans are excited, the racers are now excited. Now they're asking me when to lock in. When to lock in, holy cow. So we'll get that going soon. But the main thing was to get out in front of people and talk to people and let them know, hey, we're still here. We just had to make one decision to cancel the event. We're gonna move forward. KOTS is alive and well. When and where? US 41 in Indiana, where we started, September 21st. Absolutely. Because if you look back at history, we had great events at 41. And then we moved to Great Lakes and on 24-hour notice. And then we moved up there and we had a great show. And people started coming up. People that normally wouldn't go to the Grove went there. People travel in from Canada. We have people from all over the country that come in to race and spectate. So are there going to be some people that don't go? Of course, that's like that everywhere. Some people don't feel they can have more than one friend. Some people feel they can't go more than one track. But most people will come down. It's one time this year. People are excited. And for the people that don't want to come down and support a good track like 41, where we started, they're the ones missing out. So there'll be a lot of people there supporting. And I've heard it from the whole, everybody stopping by this weekend, everybody's happy about it. They're happy that we're having an event. They're happy that it's going to 41, they like it. Some people have said, hey, can you do another one? Can you go to Michigan? I've had people ask, hey, what about Ohio? What about, I'm like, man, I don't know. I just know that I have one inked race right now. I thought about it. And we've had some events that were, 1 week apart, and sometimes you're on the upper side of it, sometimes you're on the downward side of it, right? So I looked at it. I've been on that date for 8 years, right? 8 years. I'd have to look real close. Don't hold me to that. So those have been my dates. And this year, I didn't get it out as early, and I'm not sure that I should have moved my event in that date. But I decided to for the better good of the racers, because I don't want to split them. I don't want people to have to choose. I kind of want people to come to both. If they would decide to go there the week before, hey, it's a racer's choice. You can go there. But I expect we'll have a good turnout. And just like any race, man, you could have failure the day before, the week before, a month before. But some of those guys that have failure at Anarchy, or they have an issue testing, they get their car fixed, they thrash till, no sleep and all these crazy stories, belt sanding heads and trailers and, Boost 12 and Zach and them guys. I mean, there's so many stories of people staying up for days. So back to the question, I don't feel it'll affect it very much. And I think people know what they want and they want to be there. So I don't know that, they might not run 100% because they want to make sure they're ready the next weekend. They might try to get it done with 80 or 70 or 90. And then they turn it up at the, at the end. We'll have a good time. So I'm excited that we're going to have some new blood there. I'm excited to go back home. I'm excited that people are excited. I have photographers, and you guys are awesome, and the people stopping by the booth, and it's just, I'm excited that people are excited at that. With all these cars and everybody coming out here, just imagine what's going to happen at the event. We're going to have good weather, it'll be a nice cool day, making maximum horsepower, letting it all hang out. Proud to be part of something great. So Streetlife, people wonder, what the hell is why'd you start Streetlife? You had KOTS, Steve. I started losing the interest in racing myself. I wasn't having fun. So the whole thing of what I'm trying to get back this year is people having fun. Streetlife was fun. I got together 2 groups of people, 16 in each one. So we had 32 cars. We went out and did a 30-mile cruise, and we came back and we had fun. And I got to drive and ride with somebody, have a good time, and you know what I mean? I got to do what I do. And Streetlife is a ton of fun, and I started realizing there's a whole nother group of people that can't afford to have a double J car. They can't afford to be Boost 12 or some of these top tier cars. They're maybe more on a budget. Well, they're not relevant in that world, but they are relevant in a street car that can go drive around and come back and race. And those guys, they hot lap them, they come back. Hey, we had an issue with the timing system. You got to re-race. Okay, no problem. There's no issues. It's a ton of fun. Streetlife is great. There's nothing negative about Streetlife. It's not a money thing. You don't have tons of money in the car like you do the other events. It's more fun. It appeals to many more people. Imports. We're gonna get a 17-inch drag radial 4,000-pound group together. We're gonna have I'm working on the GTR group. Streetlife is, just remember, Streetlife is fun, fun, fun. Gives anybody a chance to compete. Hard tire. Right now we have hard tire in 275. We'll have hard tire 275. Then we'll have that GTR group. And we'll have we're going to have that 17-inch tire group. And I got to really evaluate who's going to be running in that to figure out what other group do we need. Do we need to incorporate something else? I'm open for suggestions from people that want to be part of it, but maybe don't fit those, and they can explain to me why. Because everything that I do is all about the racers, the fans. I want to make sure that the fans see what they want, and the racers get what they want. If I get both of those, I have good payouts, and everybody's happy. So Streetlife is going to be a big change going forward. Going to be big. But I would consider doing an additional one if it made sense and everybody wanted it. I've thought about doing a Sunday event where it's going to be fun. We can barbecue and cook for people, do some little bit of drag racing, listen to music, maybe have a little car show, do just like a fun vibe Sunday. That could technically be a Streetlife, and I was thinking of maybe potentially in July. But it's up in there. I'm not inked on that. I did talk to the track about it. They're very welcoming of it. They want to see us there. So if everybody wants it and they talk to me, I'll consider it. I just got to make sure I have enough time to do it right, because I won't half-ass anything. And things are looking good with my work schedule this year, so I'm pretty excited. Man, well, if you look at it, right, I mean, I don't want to take credit for something that I didn't do, but I will say that, so if you look back on the forums, which I should talk to Chief and ask him. So if you look back, Chief was not a no prep guy, and he's not even a no prep guy now. Occasionally he would do one, or Armageddon or something like that, right? And I think that KOTS has impacted that. I didn't have the time and dedication to go on the road with it, and those guys, they've got the means and stuff, and by them doing no prep kings, it gives us another out. It's a good thing. I think KOTS impacted. I think that it led the way. We were the very first no prep in 2008, so I know we had an impact on it. I don't know how much, but you can kind of see some of the stuff that I do, they do. So, yeah. Oh, wow. I don't know that we have enough time.
Don't lie to me.
So KOTS to me, so when it started, KOTS to me was just getting together. They weren't, we were enemies in a sense for racing, right? We're hardcore grudge street racers, but we had mutual respect for each other. And that was, so getting those people together, but once we got everybody together for the first one, you seen this like family, just develop. And that meant a lot to me, because I got to see people I only seen once a year, because KOTS was only once a year when it started. And that's where we are right now. So I got to see them once a year, and it was great to, to get everybody together to race. And then as it opened up to the public, then I was like, holy cow, there's all these other people that are part of the family. So it became like a lifestyle. As you know, people drive around, they yell KOTS motherfucker, they yell KOTS for the win, to the front, baby, what's up? They have all these catchphrases that we've all used together, and it's just a group of people doing things they enjoy, getting out there, racing for good money. So, but there's a whole nother side of things with KOTS that I've had relationships with people and getting to know people, bringing a lot of people of all walks of life together. If you ever look at any footage, right, you look at KOTS and you don't see all these segregated things, and people have issues. And I'll give you a great example. We're sitting on the wall, we're doing a little bit of gambling, and you've got two people part of two different gangs that normally on the street hate each other. Just how it is, right? But how come the day of COTS, these guys, there's not an issue, there's not a fight, there's nothing. They respect each other. We're gambling, have a good time, betting on lanes, rolling dice, and everybody gets together. It's fine. So there's something special about COTS and everybody that does it. So it brings a lot of different walks of life. Rich, poor, paycheck to paycheck. It's a middle-class, blue-collar event. So it means a lot to me to keep it going. And after last fall, I wasn't sure what we were going to do. And then there's an outpouring of support, made me rethink about some stuff, and I decided to move forward with the team. So COTS means a lot to me. It means a lot to my family. It means a lot to my friends. So it's opened up doors for me I probably would have never had. So met a lot of people I never would even have crossed paths with. Travel across the country because of COTS. You know, get invited to things I probably shouldn't be invited to, just because I got a lot of awesome friends that make me look great. I'm just the guy that took it by the horns. I'm just the guy that was the leader. Really, the COTS is just a whole group of great people. I'm just the guy that said, hey, everybody said, here, we trust you, Steve, because we don't trust these other guys. They ain't going to give us the money back, so they trusted me, so I had a good name. And so, yeah, COTS means a lot to me, and it's many different levels. I would have never met you. I would have never met Double J, you know. I would have never, like Boost 12. So Boost 12 was, me and him were high competitors. We wanted to kill each other, because he was fast, we were fast. Pump Gas, another fast guy on the street, at that time. And that group, Figgy, Oz, there were some guys, fast. We got some great stories of some stupid shit that we done. So I would have probably never became friends with those guys if it wasn't for COTS. And they just decided to hand me $550 and to get a bunch of them together so we could see who the baddest was. That's how it was.